Hey there, everybody. Meteorologist Bergren here. It is just after 3:30 on a Tuesday afternoon. Hope you're having a wonderful day out there so far. We've got lots to track out there, including some nice weather. Now let's get into it. We've got some beautiful weather over the next couple of days. The first thing is the temperatures for tomorrow are going to be very nice. We're talking about 78 in Orlando, 77 in Titusville, 79 in the Villages. Let me know where you're watching from. If you have a question, comment, or a concern, we're on Fox Local. YouTube and Facebook. Love to hear your comments on YouTube and Facebook. It is the 22nd of December. Are you done with your Christmas shopping? You only have a couple of days left to get it done. Hopefully you have obviously made some good headway there for Christmas. So the big headline here this year is going to be that it's warm. We're tracking probably the warmest Christmas in several years. In fact, this year it will end up being warmer on Christmas than both Thanksgiving and Halloween, which does not happen often. That is quite interesting, to say the least. So 78 on Christmas is what we expect on Thursday. 75 is what it was on Thanksgiving, and 69 on Halloween. So some other years for history of Christmas. You can see last year was 69, the year before 72. But once you go back to 2022, the high was just 46 on Christmas Day, and the low was 30. It was a historic Arctic blast. I was living in the Midwest at the time, and I remember talking on the news there about Floridians in Florida about how it was, I believe, to this point, still one of the coldest Christmases ever in 2022. So you don't have to go back far to have seen some really significant cold here in Central Florida in our neck of the woods. But 46 was the high just 3 years ago. 79 in 2021, and 53 was the high on Christmas Day in 2020. So the warmest Christmas ever was 86 in 2015, the coldest 21 in 1983, and the wettest was a little over 3 inches of rain back in the late 1940s. Let me know where you're watching from. If you have a question, a comment, or a concern, let me pull up some of your questions here and your comments. Let me get some of them cooked in. Hello. How is everybody doing? Let's see. Matt Trevethan says it's Monday. No, it's not. Oh, it is Monday. Really? Really? Wow. You have to forgive me. I have been very busy. I've been running around like a chicken today. So, yeah, happy Monday. Happy Monday, everybody. Wow, that's crazy. I'm off an entire day. I'm actually best man in a wedding this weekend in Connecticut, so very excited to go help fulfill my best man duties and support my best friend there in New England. But it does look like there's going to be a snowstorm in there. We'll talk about that coming up in a few minutes. I do feel pretty confident. It looks like there's going to be a pretty big snowstorm in southern New England on Friday into Friday night. But for us here in Florida, the coldest Christmas ever was 21 in 1983. So in terms of snow on Christmas in Central Florida, it hasn't really a lot before. Those of you watching, there's a lot of you on Fox Local, our streaming platform, on your app, your TV, and on the website. Appreciate you watching. So it has never actually snowed on Christmas in Orlando, meaning there's no snow showers, no flurries. It's never actually done that. The last time we've had measurable snowfall in the vicinity of Christmas, within a few weeks on either side, was January of 2008. We actually had 0.7 inches of snow, which was quite a historic event for parts of Central Florida. Now, if you're from up north, you probably laugh at that. But 0.7 inches of snow in January of 2008, and that was parts of Seminole and Volusia County. Actually, the Daytona Beach area got nearly an inch of snow back then. Look, let me just take you outside right now because it is a fabulous day here. I mean, I played pickleball this morning. It was fabulous. This is why you come to Florida this time of the year. This is from the Evermore Resort camera. Christmas in Florida right there. Beautiful. You see people enjoying the pool at the Evermore area. Let me pull up our SunTrust camera. That's from downtown Orlando. Just beautiful. Now, they're all zoomed in for some reason. Let me pull up a different camera. Now, we do have a lot of clouds coming in. Let me show you the camera from our radar tower. This is in Orange County. And you see it's getting kind of cloudy, which was expected. These clouds are coming in off the ocean, and they're tied to a front up in the Northeast and New England. So here are those showers, and notice there are a decent amount of showers here coming in from the east. You can see some of these showers pushing in like this off the Atlantic Ocean. So a couple of showers through the evening tonight, but if I zoom this out and put it on the visible satellite here, I'm going to have to bring this back a couple of hours as the image will get dark. If you look here, these clouds actually extend with a front that's off the coast of New England. The front is like this. And there's a very strong push of east wind into Florida, which is what's pushing in these clouds, essentially all the way from the central Atlantic today. So we've got pretty persistent east flow into the Florida Peninsula, which is pushing in these clouds and sprinkles. And the reason for that is because you've got a big difference in instability. The land of Florida is one temperature, and the water is a different this time of the year. So you get a cold push of wind from the water over warm land, and then when it hits the land, it creates showers. So that's why you're seeing here, let me zoom it back in, you're seeing some of these showers right now in parts of Brevard County, down towards Cocoa Beach, the Space Center. I'll zoom you in. So if you're going to be out for the evening, after work, Cape Canaveral over towards Melbourne, definitely a couple of showers there. If you have a question, comment, or concern, please put it on Facebook, YouTube. Let me pull up some of them here now. Thank you to Matt for correcting me that it is, in fact, Monday and not Tuesday. Let's see. Hello from Palm Bay, Karen, hello. Merry Christmas, Luann. Happy New Year, Fabian. Lisa says hello and Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas to you too, Lisa. Here's a comment from Facebook. Let me pull this one up. Hope everybody's doing great today. I was outside doing a little bit of pickleball earlier. So here is a comment from William, which says, hi, Noah, yes. What did you do over the weekend? I worked this weekend for the most part. And just kind of chilled out a little bit. Are you going to a Christmas Eve party? No eggnog. I'll be actually at home on Christmas Eve. Again, getting ready for my best friend's wedding, which is this weekend. And coincidentally, it does look like there'll be a snowstorm the day before the wedding, which I guess is probably my fault. Let's pull up some of the temperatures across the state. Let's get into that, and then we'll do across the country. So it's 75 beautiful degrees in Orlando right now. It's 77 in Melbourne, 77 in Miami, 79 in Fort Myers, 66 in Pensacola. I mean, you really can't ask for much more for this than this time of the year. I mean, it really, really is pretty great. I mean, there's not much else you could ask for. Now, the humidity has come up a little bit. Remember we expressed the humidity with the dew point. Anything above 60 is what you notice. So it is slightly more humid today thanks to that wind off the water coming in from the east. But here are the temperatures across the southeast and the eastern U.S. I'll make this full screen so you can see it. Really, the cold is really far away. You got to go up into New England and the upper Great Lakes to see cold. It's 76, it feels like now in Orlando, 32 in New York, 27 in Boston, 33 in Columbus, Ohio, 38 in Chicago, 33 in Minneapolis, 56 in Nashville, and even warmer to our west. It's 84 in Houston, 72 in Dallas, 61 in Wichita, Kansas, and 56 in Atlanta. But a lot of that cold to the north is going to stay there, actually. Now, a couple of things we are tracking. Let me bring you to the national view here now. So there's going to be a pretty big cross-country storm Christmas Day night through Friday. And it's going to start Christmas Eve in California with major rain and flooding. And that storm, there's a big ridge of high pressure over the middle of the country right now. And that storm is going to do what we call ride the ridge, where it goes up, goes down the Great Lakes, and then hits off the coast of New England. It'll be a big, I think, a blockbuster snowstorm for places like New York City, Long Island, Connecticut, and Massachusetts on Friday. But it's a pretty impactful storm, and it's going to start Christmas Eve in California, which I showed some of this last night on our late news after football with Manny. But here are some of the rain totals. This is through the end of the week. This is a huge deal for California. Look here in Los Angeles. I mean, this will be one of the wettest Decembers on record, and most of this is going to fall Christmas Eve. Right in the heart of LA, about 5 inches of rain. 10 once you get up into the mountains. Santa Clarita, 7. Santa Barbara, 7. 10, you get over towards Huntington Beach, 4 inches of rain. So broadly speaking, 5 to 10 inches of rain around Los Angeles. Even in Las Vegas, this is mostly, again, rain coming on Christmas Eve. So very wet, active, and stormy in the southwest U.S. 2 in Las Vegas, an inch in Phoenix, then 5 in San Francisco. But this area you see here in the mountains of California, that's going to fall predominantly as snow. And it would actually blow your mind to see how much it's going to fall, and I actually have a graphic made for that. Now, this is actually off of our color table. We don't have a color table, and I don't have the time to make one by hand. It would take me half of my entire workday. So we're just going to label it with just the number there. That white is over 125 inches of snow expected through the weekend in the Sierra Nevada. So really, 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 really big snow event there. And if you're flying, this is the real only areas of issue before the holiday. Here's how that storm looks. And again, this is what will end up being a snowstorm, a blockbuster snowstorm in southern New England on Friday night into Saturday morning if you're traveling to places like New York or Hartford. But it starts Christmas Eve in California. Big rain. Look at all the flooding. I mean, this is crazy. I mean, Los Angeles is going to be like Christmas Eve. It's going to be miserable. I mean, torrential rain. There could be some water spouts. Maybe a brief tornado inland. That risk generally doesn't really materialize. But that system is going to be what ends up going. Let me zoom you out here. Is going to be what ends up going into New England for later in the week. In fact, let me bring this back and show you here. So here's the map. If you're traveling tomorrow, let's see, here's Tuesday. Let me update this surface map. This is old. So if you're traveling tomorrow for the holiday, the only issues tomorrow, well, there will be some major issues. Boston, Mass, Hartford, Connecticut, Albany, all of the New York City airports, Syracuse. Major air travel impact. It's not a major storm, but you can see that there's going to be probably a decent little snow event, 2 to 5 inches of snow or something like that, Tuesday afternoon and evening there in New England. And then in the Midwest, things are calm and quiet. They look fine. In Florida, they're fine. So this is tomorrow afternoon. If you're driving in Florida, the southeast, you're fine. If you're flying into the Midwest or driving, you're fine. Snowstorm, obviously, you see here in New England. And then the bigger system starts to come in off the Pacific Ocean here in California. And it's this here that's going to ride up the ridge and then go towards New England for Friday. And you can see how this plays out here. So here's Wednesday, so Christmas Eve. If you're flying or driving on Christmas Eve, tons of sun in the southeast. In Florida, pretty good in the Midwest, Chicago area. Should not have many major air disruptions, but just a big Pacific storm and a mess out on the West Coast. That's really where the focus is for Christmas Eve this year. Here's Christmas Day. Here's about 2:30 Christmas Day, and notice Florida is great. You got some snow showers in New England, a little bit of rain in Michigan, just kind of cloudy in Illinois, Ohio. And then again, big storm out here, but it's this one here that's going to end up being a big storm for New England on Friday. I don't think our Fox model goes out that far. It does not. But you can see the beginnings of that storm. This is as far out as the model goes. 5 a.m. Friday, center of the storm over Illinois, and bound for about, let's say, here, and then it'll reform into a big snowstorm there. See if our other model goes out farther than this. This is our Fox model. So it does, actually. No, I don't have the P-type on here, meaning you won't see snow, but put this on the European model so you can see it. Hang on, give me 1 second. Not sure what's going on here. There we go. So here is the Euro model, and I'll take you out through the weekend. So after Christmas, if you're traveling somewhere, here's the day after Christmas in the afternoon. So here's December 26th at 4:30, and you can see good in Florida, good in the Heartland. another system in the Rocky Mountain West, and then here's what's going to be your big system for coastal New England and the tri-state Friday night, which you can see there turns into quite the snow event here in the Saturday morning with a big shield of snow here, then maybe an ice storm. So Friday night into Saturday, if you're traveling and connecting out of the Northeast big airports, it does look like a highly impactful storm there. That should clear. You see here, it's still snowing at 8 in the morning Saturday there. And then it's done by mid-afternoon Saturday on the 27th. And then that system, you can see where the system comes from. It zooms pretty quick there. But yeah, so if you're traveling for the weekend, southern New England, big issues. The southeast is clear. Then another storm out over the western U.S. Let me show you the Christmas forecast here at home. So here are the highs on Thursday, about 78 in Orlando and Sanford, 79 in Winter Haven, 79 in the Villages, 76 in Daytona, 77 in Titusville, 77 in Melbourne, and 76 in Palm Coast. Now the highs on Christmas Day through much of the central and southern U.S. are going to be way above average. In fact, all the areas with an asterisk, this is our model blend. It's actually above our forecast. It says 79 here. All of these numbers that have an asterisk would be record setting. St. Louis, Atlanta, Johnson City, Tennessee, Memphis, Little Rock, Arkansas, Springfield, Missouri, Kansas City, Wichita, Amarillo, Midland, Oklahoma City. I think Dallas is a degree away. But look at these temps. 73 on Christmas Day in Nashville. 76 in St. Louis. I mean, heck, it's basically the same temperature as it is in Central Florida, in the middle of Missouri on Christmas. So very, very warm across the heartland in the southern U.S. this year. 80 in Dallas on Christmas Day, 77 in Amarillo, 74 Kansas City, 79 in Houston. You see there the upper 70s as well in Florida. I do think I have an hour-by-hour planner of Christmas. It's in here somewheres. Give me a hot second and I'll pull it up. If you have a question about the holiday or you're traveling, let me know. I'll answer it for you and pull up some models and show you. I still got to get our forecast ready for the news here tonight after I'm done on here with you. But here is the hour-by-hour forecast for Christmas Day. It looks really nice here with lots of sunshine. Temperatures peaking probably about 78. Now, there could be a touch of fog early in the morning on Christmas Day. Otherwise, it's a fabulous day. Don't really see any notable issues other than fog early in the morning on Christmas Day. So yeah, if you have a comment, a question, put it in. I'd love to hear from you. Let me pull up some of your comments here. Let's see. Hello from Palm Bay, Karen. Hello, Tammy. Hello, Paula. Do you think it will affect flying from Arizona to Fresno Christmas Day? Let me look. I'll think on this on the fly with you. Let me pull up our model again. Let me revert this back to where I had it as I changed it. You said Fresno to Arizona. If it was Christmas Eve, I would say, yeah, that's going to be a nightmare. Christmas Day, I think, would be fine. I don't know, candidly, I have to be honest, I don't know as much about the airport and meteorological impacts of these areas like I do most of the eastern U.S., because this has never been somewhere I've lived or forecasted for routinely or professionally, so I don't know as much about how weather impacts these areas. But I would say you're fine, but you see here on Fresno, there's another line that comes in. There's another storm. Look at this. It's like a hurricane force low out here. With a big line of 50-mile-an-hour winds and rain in Fresno Thursday morning. So it depends what time your flight is Thursday. But yeah, I think it might be okay, but if it's midday, it could be an issue, Paula. Depends on what time. To give a specific answer would depend on what time your flight is. Hello from Titusville. How about travel to New Mexico this week? Well, if it's the day after Christmas, it'll probably get a little bumpy there, but I think New Mexico will be east of the big weather. Elizabeth Post 6861 on YouTube. I would think you're going to be fine for that. So I hope everybody has a great rest of your Tuesday. Don't forget to watch Marlisa Goldsmith. She's got coming up on the 407, which you'll see here on Fox Local, coming up in about 6 minutes. You'll see Marlisa in the 407, what they've got cooking up for you today. And then we'll see you for the news at 5. But for those of you on Fox Local, we appreciate you watching as always. I will leave you with the Christmas holiday forecast hour by hour. Here it is, and I will see you coming up tonight with much more at 5, 6, 8, 10, and 11. If you have a comment or a question anytime, please send it our way. We're here to serve you, Central Florida and far and beyond, if you ever have a weather question. So appreciate you watching. I'll talk to you soon, and I'll see you coming up tonight on the news starting at 5. Have a great night.